Do you think you can read a 200-plus page book in just 1 hour? If your answer is no, congratulations. You've landed to the right book, Speed Reading, by Cam Knight, where you'll unlock strategies that will revolutionize your reading skills. Let's start. 1. Shaping your expectations with effective pre-reading strategies. Have you ever pondered the significance of the 2 most important days in your life, as Mark Twain famously did? The day you were born and the day you discovered why? Just as finding your purpose in life can transform your existence, approaching reading with a specific goal activates your brain's goal-seeking mechanism, sharpening focus and enhancing comprehension. Whether your aim is mastering a new skill, acing an exam, or diving into the depths of a good novel, identifying this purpose gears up different regions of your brain to work in concert. Suddenly, like noticing a specific car everywhere after you've decided to buy it, your brain zeroes in on relevant information, filtering out the noise to spotlight what's important to you. Let's start by trying this exercise. Note down everything you've read recently and pinpoint the reasons for each choice. This will aid you in organizing your future reading and prime your brain, aligning your cognitive resources with your interests and goals, and making your reading both efficient and impactful. Now let's consider the practice of previewing material before you dive in deep. This is a little like exploring a new city before settling down, a strategy that unveils the layout and primes your expectations. A preview acts as a scaffold, a preliminary sketch that guides your understanding and aids in assembling the puzzle pieces of new knowledge. As you glance through the titles, subtitles, and highlighted texts in a book, you're not just skimming. You're constructing a mental framework for the detailed exploration that lies ahead. For practice, try previewing some diverse reading materials you've gathered. By examining titles, introductions, and summaries without delving into the full text, you train your brain to anticipate and structure the information, making the actual reading smoother and more intuitive. But remember that not all reading requires the same approach. Different materials demand different speeds and levels of engagement. A novel may invite a leisurely pace, allowing for immersion in its world, while a technical manual requires slow, deliberate attention to grasp complex information. Adjusting your reading style based on the material's nature and your objectives optimizes both your enjoyment and the efficiency of learning. Try experimenting with altering your reading pace and focus across various texts. This should make you proficient in shifting gears, ensuring you can navigate through dense academic texts with the same ease as through light magazine articles, enriching your reading experience with flexibility and depth. When you incorporate these practices into your reading routine, it'll be transformed from a passive activity into an active journey of discovery. By setting a purpose, previewing your path, and adapting your reading style, you unlock a more fulfilling and effective way to engage with the written word, making every reading session a step toward achieving your personal and professional goals. 2. Transforming your reading speed with 3 simple strategies. Have you ever wondered how some people can breeze through books and articles at lightning speed and still grasp every concept? It's probably because they're using speed reading techniques. Let's turn our attention to 3 that could dramatically increase how quickly you read, without sacrificing understanding. First up is what's called space reading. This term is a registered trademark. The space reading technique might seem a bit unconventional at first glance. Instead of focusing on each word, you shift your gaze to the spaces between words. So why exactly would you do that? Well, your peripheral vision can catch and comprehend multiple words at once, much like how you can recognize a familiar face without focusing on each feature. To give this a try, look at a paragraph of text and let your eyes glide over the spaces between the words. You're not ignoring the words but rather changing how you view them, allowing your brain to process information more efficiently. Next, let's look at chunking. This builds on the principle of looking at groups of words as if they were a single unit. Imagine looking at a sentence not word by word but in sections or phrases. This approach helps you to pick up the meaning of multiple words with just one glance. For practice, find a text and start by looking at small groups of words together, moving your eyes from one group to the next quickly. This technique will help you absorb larger chunks of information at a speed that traditional word-by-word reading can't match. Last, let's tackle subvocalization, the habit of silently pronouncing each word in your head as you read. It's a common practice, but it ties your reading speed to how fast you can speak in your mind. To break away from this habit, first try reading with your mouth firmly closed. This simple action can help reduce the urge to subvocalize. Then, push yourself to read at a speed that's too fast for subvocalizing. If you find it challenging, humming or listening to music without lyrics can occupy the part of your brain that wants to vocalize, allowing you to focus purely on visual information intake. Each of these methods, from focusing on the spaces between words to chunking and reducing subvocalization, is designed to shift your reading from a slow, linear process to a faster, more holistic one. Give each of them a try. Start with shorter texts and gradually work your way up to longer, more complex materials. You might be surprised at how quickly you can improve your reading speed and comprehension. As you practice, remember that speed reading isn't just about moving your eyes faster across the page. It's about retraining your brain to process information in a new, more efficient way. 3. Overcoming bad habits and limitations. Ingrained reading habits, specifically fixation and regression, and having a limited visual range can act as barriers to speed reading. These not only slow you down but can also hinder your understanding and enjoyment. Fixation * is the temporary halt your eyes make on words to allow for processing. While essential for reading clarity, excessive fixation can impede your reading pace. To combat this, practice widening your gaze to absorb groups of words with each eye movement. This approach reduces the number of pauses your eyes make across a sentence, which enhances your reading speed. Imagine your gaze encompassing lines rather than individual words, much like capturing a landscape in a single glance. Regression *, or the habit of revisiting text you've already read, acts as a speed bump in your reading journey. It's like taking a step backward for every 2 steps forward. Train yourself to keep moving forward, trusting in your ability to comprehend without doubling back. A practical tip here is to use a guide, such as your finger or a pen, moving steadily down the page to discourage your eyes from wandering back. This keeps your reading flow uninterrupted and the structure of the text clear in your mind. You'll then make connections more readily, which will improve your overall comprehension. Expanding your visual range * involves leveraging your peripheral vision to take in more words at a glance. This doesn't mean skimming but rather effectively using your entire field of vision to recognize words and phrases without direct focus. Exercises that strengthen peripheral awareness can be beneficial. For example, practice reading text with your gaze fixed slightly off-center, encouraging your peripheral vision to pick up words from the edges of your visual field. Over time, this can help you capture more content in a single look, significantly speeding up your reading without sacrificing understanding. Each of these practices contributes to a more efficient reading process. By consciously applying techniques to reduce fixation, avoid unnecessary regression, and expand your visual range, you'll not only read faster, but you'll also transform how you interact with text at a fundamental level. Remember, this is a gradual process that requires patience and persistence, but the improvements to both speed and comprehension can be remarkable. 4. Moving beyond mere words on a page. Imagine piecing together a puzzle without knowing what the final image should look like. Focusing solely on each piece's shape and color, you might miss out on the overarching picture. Similarly, when you dive into a book, zeroing in on details without grasping the main ideas can leave you with fragments of information but no cohesive understanding. Your first step should be to identify the central message the author intends to convey. This approach transforms reading from a collection of isolated facts into a coherent narrative or argument. Always ask yourself, what is the main point here? To direct your attention beyond the immediate details to the broader significance. After reading a chapter, pause and reflect on its core message and how the details bolster this main idea. This reflection is an active engagement that will deepen your comprehension and retention. Next, let's take a look at paragraphs and what are known as topic sentences. These sentences are like signposts, indicating the direction and purpose of a paragraph. Identifying them will help you understand the main idea being discussed and how subsequent sentences build upon it. This skill is essential for piecing together the details to form a complete picture of the author's argument or narrative. Practically, this means that after you read a paragraph, you should try to pinpoint the topic sentence. It may, or may not, be the first sentence, Understanding this anchors you in the paragraph's intent and will enrich your engagement with the text. Lastly, remember that expanding your vocabulary is integral to unlocking the full meaning of texts. Every new word you learn adds to your arsenal for understanding and articulating complex ideas. Encountering unfamiliar words is an opportunity for growth. Circle them as you read. Once you've finished reading, return to these circled words, research their definitions, and contextualize them within the sentence or paragraph you found them in. This will not only expand your vocabulary but also clarify and enrich your understanding of the text. Engage further by using these new words in conversations and writing. Through the integration of these practices, your reading will evolve beyond mere text processing and become a dynamic interaction with ideas, offering insights into diverse perspectives and enhancing your communicative prowess. Commit to this enriched approach, and watch as your reading transforms into a more insightful, immersive experience. 5. Enhancing your comprehension and retention through insightful reading. Imagine you've just closed a book after reading a captivating chapter. Do you remember the main events, the twists in the plot, or the arguments presented? If you're like most people, you move on too quickly, forgetting to embed this knowledge deeper into your memory. To truly retain what you've read, engage in a simple but powerful exercise. Pause and recall the key points without peeking back at the text or your notes. This process, which might seem challenging at first, gradually trains your brain to hold on to the rich details of your reading material. After trying to remember as much as you can, go back to the text. Compare your recollections with the actual content. You might be surprised at how much you remember correctly, but also at what you might have missed or remembered inaccurately. This step enhances your memory and ensures that what you've read sticks with you for much longer. Now, consider how often your mind wanders away from the page to random thoughts or daydreams. This common occurrence can significantly slow down your reading progress and comprehension. But daydreaming doesn't need to be a distraction. It can also be a tool for enhancing your reading experience. By intentionally using daydreaming to develop your visualization skills, you can turn what's often seen as a hurdle into a powerful asset. Here's how. As you read, especially dense or descriptive text, allow yourself to visualize the scenes, characters, and events. You don't need to create a perfect mental image, but try letting your imagination run parallel to your reading material. Visualization not only makes your reading experience more immersive and enjoyable but also improves your ability to recall details and understand complex narratives or concepts. Remember that your eyes are your windows to the world of books, so never forget the strain reading puts on them. Regular eye exercises can significantly improve your reading experience. Simple movements such as looking from left to right without moving your head, rolling your eyes in a complete circle, or tracing figure eights can strengthen your eye muscles, increase flexibility, and reduce eye strain. In addition to exercise, give your eyes regular breaks. Every hour or so, shift your gaze away from your book or screen to something in the distance. This brief change of focus allows your eyes to relax and can prevent the fatigue that comes from long reading sessions. These practices aren't just about maintaining your eye health. They're also about enhancing your overall reading experience, allowing you to read more comfortably and for longer periods. By integrating all these practices into your reading routine, you'll improve your reading efficiency and deepen your comprehension and enjoyment of the material. Each element plays a significant role in transforming your reading from a passive activity into an engaging, enriching experience that will stay with you long after you've turned the final page. Remember, your eyes and brain are capable of processing vast amounts of information effortlessly. This natural efficiency can be harnessed to revolutionize your reading skills. By aligning your cognitive resources with your reading goals, you prepare yourself for a more efficient and impactful reading session. Techniques like space reading, chunking, and reducing subvocalization can significantly increase your reading speed, transforming reading from a laborious task into a fluid and effortless experience. Strategies to overcome common reading barriers such as fixation, regression, and a limited visual range enable a faster and more comprehensive reading experience. Actively engaging with the text by identifying central messages, visualizing content, and expanding your vocabulary further enriches your understanding and retention. By incorporating these insights into your reading routine, Every page you turn becomes a step toward personal and professional growth, opening up a world of knowledge and possibilities. Thanks for watching the video. Until next time.